Hey, everybody, welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here. Always glad to have you here. Thank you guys for being here. On the heels of the summit we had on Friday, hopefully you guys liked that. It was fun. It was fun to host, but we had a lot of great presenters there as well. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative with VV Nation and let me know where you're tuning in from. I've got my chat both for YouTube and for Facebook, so I don't want the Facebook people to get all quiet. You guys stay all quiet. It's my YouTube chat that is rocking and rolling. Thank you, Joey. Awesome job on the summit, Glenn, says Mark. Thank you for that super chat as well. Thank you very, very much for that. Appreciate that, Mark. Always supporting VV Nation. John says, Glenn, how are you doing? Hope you had some bacon this week. Hashtag VV Nation. I'm in Boston. Thank you, John. Yeah, had some bacon. I posted on Facebook. My wife made me a nice breakfast in a little cast iron dealie with some bacon and some tater tots and some toast. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see. I should have posted it on I think I am going to post it on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go look for @GlennTompkinsJr. to follow me on Twitter. Excuse me. I am going to, something after I do this, I'm going to post that breakfast. It was a good breakfast. Had some bacon up in there. Terry is here. Terry from Michigan. Look at that. Upper Peninsula. I'm assuming that's what that means. Mount Vernon, Washington. No suit today? No, I'm not wearing a suit today. Imagine, Joey, should I wear a suit every day when I do I'm gonna mute you. Okay, I'm muting you. What's your profile on Nope, I don't give out my Facebook. If you find me on Facebook, that's one thing, but I won't give out my Facebook. All right, but I will give out my Twitter or my Instagram. Both of those are @GlennTompkinsJr. to find me on both Twitter and on Instagram. But if you happen to find me on Facebook, I won't deny you, but I won't put it out there. Give me some advice regarding stocks. Hardrick, today, I started this last week. I am going to be looking at some day trades every so often in these sessions. So I am going to do that. So I got you. Hello again from the Philippines. Love the Philippines. I've been to Subic Bay, being a former Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine, but I've been to Subic Bay. So Philippines is kind of cool. Will the Fed be forced to buy bonds due to the lack of buyers as tax rev is dropping? So Jersey guy, you know that they have on their books a whole bunch of stuff. And they still haven't gotten rid of it. I don't think that they're going to go back to buying them yet. That's going to be another form of quantitative easing. I don't think we're at that point yet. The whole idea is that the Fed is trying to raise the interest rates to slow down the economy, of which I think is working. But now the problem comes in, do you continue to raise interest rates as the economy is slowing? Well, the economy is slowing by way of the interest rates. Do they still become hawkish? And I think that the news out there is that they're going to go for another 75 basis points again on the next raise. But at some point in time, they got to decide, is the economy slowing? And if it is inflation slowing? And I don't think that it is. So we're probably in a little bit of a stagflation. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I think that's where we stand right now, Jersey guy. So should we start buying AMD today? Interesting that you say that, Police SWAT, because my story for Friday is going to be on chips. All right. And I did a little short video on our YouTube channel. I don't think they posted it yet. I did do a little short video as a precursor because Micron reports this week. So I am going to do a little deeper dive into the semiconductors for our Friday video. So make sure you tune in for the Friday 6 p.m. video in regards to that. Mike says, hi, Glenn. Hardrick says, what time? What time for what? Regarding stocks? As we get midway through the presentation, we're going to start looking at some stocks to take a look at from a day trade perspective. Jay looks like he is on our Facebook channel. Thank you for that. So, real quick before we get started, if you're brand new to our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. so that you'll be alerted to when new videos like this come out. Make sure that if you like the presentation that you're seeing here today, don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like button. That's our way of you letting us know that it was worth your time to be here today. And that's important to us. That's definitely important to us. In regards to individual stocks, if I have the time today, I will try to look at some individual stocks, but it all depends on the questions that you ask in regards to the stories. If I will have time to look at something like Deco today, Ty B. So if we can, we will. All right. One last one. Greetings from Petoskey, Michigan. A couple other people from Michigan. Love that. I'm a fan of Michigan. I like the Wolverines. Love the way you talk and love from Israel. Thank you, BB. I got a third person now from Israel. We got Kobe Grill, we got Eton, and now we've got BB. I'm loving that we're picking up more and more people from around the globe. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to share sometimes. You can share this link that we're going through right now with the people in your social circles to see what we're talking about. All right, so let's start getting into, what is that for? Let's start getting into the news stories for today. We're going to start off with recession may not be here, but stagflation is. Remember, I talked to you about that for a second. While economists debate the likelihood of recession in the next year, the U.S. is stuck at an uncomfortable way station, stagflation. As the word implies, the economic predicament features slowing or stagnating growth and high inflation. And that's exactly what we're going through. The markets or the economy is starting to shrink. All right. And I think one way or another way to go after inflation by not the Fed raising interest rates is that people are going to get fed up with prices and they're going to stop buying the things that they don't need, which will increase the supply because there's going to be a lot less demand. And a lot of people are going to have stuff that they're going to have the supply of stuff and people are not going to buy it because inflation is so high. So the Fed is doing its job by raising interest rates. But the other side of that, if anybody looked, when the Fed was on the Hill and talking to Congress, they asked him, Elizabeth Warren asked him, says, is the raising of the interest rates going to bring inflation down? And Powell honestly said no. But the whole idea is not to bring inflation down. Well, it is, but it's really designed to slow the economy down so that, get priced up too high, people won't buy. And to a certain degree, that will affect inflation. That's the overall goal. All right. So the economy contracted by 1.5% in the first quarter, with headline consumer prices raising by 8.6%. Inflation is high. We all know that, and that's affecting the market. So with that being said, with the high volatility in the market, we're going to see these whipsaws up and down, up and down, up and down. But before the market really starts moving to the upside, there needs to be some sense of a catalyst to push us higher. Without that, there's not going to be any sustainable upturn. And I still feel that these are still times, because of the overall bearishness in the market, to sell the rips. All right. I'm not going to buy the dips. That's me personally. And once we move up, as we see in the market, on a market timing graph, those upturns are not very long. Now, if you're more of an aggressive trader in the market, can you take advantage of this? Absolutely. But if you're a longer-term investor in the market, this is a precarious position right now, especially if you're trying to hold stocks longer. Scott Vu, congratulations. What is that? What happened to Scott? What did Scott do? What did I miss? All right. Hi, Glenn. Can you mention again your Twitter ID? It is Glenn. It is at Glenn Tompkins Jr. At Glenn Tompkins Jr. If you want to find me on Twitter. And I post a lot of stuff on Twitter that we don't always talk about here in the software. Central banks should raise rates sharply or risk high inflation era. See, again, so there's two sides to the fence. You raise the rates to slow the economies, but once the economy slow down at a smaller pace, do you still think about raising interest rates as the economy is shrinking or contracting? And that's going to be a slippery slope for the the Fed to go through. David Silber says, hi from David Silber in Wakefield, Rhode Island, the great ocean state. Actually, David stopped by the office. It was last week. I think it was last week. He stopped by the office to say hello. It was great to see them. Jav says, good morning, Glenn, from the sunny West Coast, just like where Miss McClintock is, right? This is going to be very interesting to watch across the globe because we're not the only ones going through high inflation. Do the banks really sit on, or not this, do the Feds or the central banks sit on really raising interest rates at a faster clip? All right, so let's talk about what's going to go on this week from financial news. Today, core durable goods came out. Forecast for 0.3 came in at 0.7. So durable goods are going up. All right. Durable good orders are going up. Is that good? Well, people buying. Pending home sales went up as well. Forecast from minus 3.7. That's a nice bump in pending home sales. Now, that's interesting in that mortgage rates are going up, but people are still buying homes. That's an interesting dichotomy of sorts. All right. This was supposed to have been for the week. Let's go look at for this week. There we go. Looking at tomorrow, we've got wholesale inventories coming out, retail inventories. Now, this is going to be interesting looking at retail inventories. If people are slowing down on buying goods because of higher inflation, retail inventory should go up. Retail should have more stuff in stock because people are probably not buying. So it's going to be very interesting. What else is here? Consumer confidence comes up tomorrow at 10 o'clock as well. We'll see. I don't think the confidence is very high right now. So those are going to be two interesting stories tomorrow. Coming in on Wednesday, the Fed speaks, and then we've got GDP. Now, Wednesday is going to be a very important day. Patrick and I will both be on for afternoon market action. GDP is going to come out at 8:30 on Wednesday. And if it is lower, that will be the textbook definition of a recession where we'll have 2 quarters of GDP down. So they're forecasting at 8.1, which is lower than the last one that came out at 8.6. And if it stays there, that could be GDP down for 2 quarters in a row. Government keeps printing money. Actually, we ain't printing no more money right now. Not now, but it's going to be interesting to see if we start to head into a recession. Will the Fed turn around and start to say, all right, we got to put more money in the economy? That's going to be very interesting. I think that this is a silly thing to do. Let's get through what we've got going on right now. And I don't think that he can start doing quantitative easing if inflation is still high. But I still think that people are hurting, and we're getting into midterm elections, and I think the Fed's going to be accommodative to the midterm elections. We'll see. But that's going to be the big story this week. It's going to be on Wednesday to see if GDP is actually down for 2 quarters in a row or not. Corey says, good afternoon, Glenn. Thanks for your good work Friday. I actually watched almost the entire summit again on Saturday after a great day on Friday. Thanks again. Joey, bring up what is it? Is this it? No, that's not it, is it? No. There it is, real quick. We do have the summit videos. They're up, but they're going to be shut down very quickly, probably by the end of the day. Now, they're still up for free, but if you want to purchase them, there's 2 ways to go about getting the videos. One, you can pay for them, $195 to pay and watch the videos as much as you want for a year. Number 2, if you renew your annual subscription to anything in the VectorVest, annual subscription to the software, you will get the video series or the videos for free. You will get the videos for free. So just putting that out there, you've got 2 ways today up until later on today. The videos will be shut down off of the YouTube channel. But if you want to keep them forever, you can pay for them, $195 for a year for all of the videos. You can take all the notes you want. Or number 2, if you have an existing annual subscription to VectorVest and you renew it, or you take a new annual subscription to VectorVest, you get the videos for free. Peter says, hey, Corey, same here. 2nd week due to COVID, time enough for learning. Great summit. Thank you very much for that, Peter. and hope you're feeling better. Lou says, I'm out of cash to buy anything. Inflation is eating my money. And again, it becomes a very interesting time in the market right now. If you're a short-term investor, this is a good time for you. You can take advantage of all the bumps and wiggles in the market. If you're a longer-term investor, it makes it a little tougher for you at this particular point in time. Oops. It makes it, you got it, Joey?
I don't know. Are you going to let me have it or no?
Oh, no, I just need to clear the chat and then you got it. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of a precarious time in the market right now for the longer-term investor, but for the short-term investor, you may find buying opportunities right now. William on Facebook says, when does earnings season start? What are we in? July. In July. The third quarter earnings starts in July. So we'll have July, August, September, and then October, November, December. So the 1st of July starts the new earnings season. So it's, once every quarter. July starts third quarter. Third quarter earnings will start coming in on the 1st of July. All right. So that's when that goes. Can I have the mouse yet, Joey? Joey's doing some things in the background.
Yeah, I'm trying to find those.
All right. July starts the new earning. Joey's doing some things in the back. Do I need to turn my speakers down?
No.
All right. July. All right. Huh? Yeah, that's where I want to be. All right. So keeping all of this in mind, what else? That's on Wednesday. All right. That's on Wednesday. So keeping all of this in mind, what else? That's on Wednesday. Have the mouse again. All right. That's on Wednesday. So keeping all of this in mind, what else? That's on Wednesday. Have the mouse again. All right. That's on Wednesday. So keeping all of this in mind, what else? That's on Wednesday. Thursday, I still got that playing in my speakers. So keeping all of this in mind, what else? That's on Wednesday. Thursday, I still got that playing in my speakers. So keeping all of this in mind, what else? There you go. All right. So Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. That's going to be a big ticket in regards to whether in a recession or not, because jobs should be going away as well. People are going to, I'm thinking that in quarter three, start in July, a couple of things are going to happen. Companies are going to start missing earnings at a bigger clip because for the time being, companies have still been beating or meeting earnings. I'm thinking that with the rise of inflation, the rise of both inflation and interest rates, companies are going to start missing earnings in quarter 3 and 4. That's going to be the prelude to a real recession outside of the textbook definition of inflation. And we're going to start to see when that happens, people are going to start laying off people. All right. So keep that in mind. Keep jobless claims. Those come out every week. All right, so this is stuff, the purchase managers information comes out on Thursday as well. Are people buying stuff? Are companies buying stuff? And on Friday, we have manufacturing PMI, Baker's Hughes. So just a prelude as to what's going on from a financial stories basis on this week. All right, oil. Let's talk about oil. Oil prices hedge higher, and this is today, ahead of the G7 talks on new Russian sanctions. So I still think that oil is a good place to have your money. Even though it's pulled back, I still think it's a good place to have your money because the oil story hasn't changed. We still have limited supply. The demand is still high. So oil is still going to run higher. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, interesting story. Shale booster shot. Refracs rise as a cheap way to lift oil output. Now, this is an interesting story. U.S. shale oil producers are returning to existing wells and giving them a second high-pressure blast to lift output for a fraction of the cost of finishing a new well. So refineries are all filled up. There's nothing in the works to build any new refineries, and a lot of refineries have been converted for the output of clean energy. So new refineries, we keep hearing that we need to refine more oil. Refineries are all booked up for refining oil. But fracking is another way, and the refracs are taking hold as shale producers look for advantage to $100 barrel crude oil without making big investments in new wells and fields. All right, so there's the stories that the leases are out there for big oil companies to go and get oil out of the ground. But with the price, due to inflation, it's expensive to pull that oil out of the ground. All right, and this is a different way of going at it. And I'm going to probably take a deeper look into this, but refracking. Now, my other piece of information here is refracts. Returning to existing wells and giving them a second high pressure blast. Are they going to get oil out of these? Are they going to spend the money for fracking? And are they going to get money if they were left and then came back again? Is the oil going to be there? It's going to be very interesting. Their reluctance to invest in more output has led to tensions between the oil industry and the White House, which is under pressure to rein in the $5 per gallon fuel prices that have contributed to decades high inflation. It's here. And everybody's doing it. Everybody's affected by it. My truck is sitting in my driveway because I'm not putting, in a 40-gallon tank. I'm not putting much gas into it. So it just sits still. Refracking can be something of a booster shot for producers, a quick increase in output for smaller investment than a new well. So I like this coming out as a story, as a way to going after oil from a less expensive way. Asif. Hey, Asif, by the way, did you know that you won the retirement transformation course? You were the one that won the, in order to claim that course, you have to send an email to connect@vectorvest.com. You won the retirement transformation course. But Asif says, Glenn, when everything normalizes, what products prices are coming down? And if not, how inflation will come down? So I think that as we get back to normal and inflation goes down, all the prices across the board go down. All right. That's what inflation is all about, rising prices on goods and services. Once we get back to normal, then we'll get back to a normal interest rate and the cost of goods and services will go down to include oil. All right. But I don't think there's anything in particular. I think that when that happens, we get back to a sense of normalcy. Growth stocks will be at the forefront of stocks to buy. Right now, it's tough to buy growth stocks. People are flocking over to the safety of value stocks that will hopefully hold their value through an impending recession. That's where we stand. Is it Asif? I just thought it was Asif. I swear I looked at it. All right, let's go to my next story. Talk about airlines. Airlines, everybody, how many people out there have been affected or know someone who's been affected by cancellation of airline flights? Type of 1 in the room. If you don't know anybody or you haven't been affected by a type of 2, how many of you have been personally affected by cancellations or know someone, someone in your circle who has been affected by cancellations? Now, this is, a heated topic for me because my wife, her sister, and her mother are going on an Alaskan cruise in about 2 weeks or so. And they've got to fly. My wife's got to fly from North Carolina to Seattle, and her sister and mom have to fly from Ohio to Seattle. And, once you've booked a cruise, if you don't show up on time, folks, you don't get that money back. That's going to be huge. So I'm praying that they don't get any cancellations in flights. But I see a lot of twos, but I see some ones. Lauren says, not traveling again until next year. I hear that. Prices for tickets are expensive, but a lot of people are willing to pay the prices to go and fly because they've been locked down for 2 years. Reginald says, no problem flying AA Austin, LA, Sacramento, and return last week. No problem flying. There you go, Reginald. But just interesting. I'm just hoping that I'm not going to be on that list of people that I know who were personally affected. But United Airlines will cut 12% of Newark flights in an effort to tame delays. I think that with everything that's going on, all the airlines should take and do something like this. If you don't have the pilots or the staff to fly the planes, don't put the flights out there to be booked. Book only what you can, but it's all about the almighty dollar, man, and they're just going to book flights to try to get all the money they can, but they're screwing the American people. Listen, if you don't have the flights or if you don't have the pilots or the staff, don't try to book the flight. Book what you can and let the traveler pick the flights that will fit them. Let them work around the schedule. Man, I think that that's horrible that people are getting delayed and getting flights canceled. That sucks. Don't do that to people. Don't do that, people. Anyone want to hear a great and positive invention idea? Art? Okay. Put it in the room. All right. On the other side of airline, Spirit just got a better bid from Frontier. Frontier and JetBlue were the two that were bidding for Spirit. Now, it's interesting that Spirit and Frontier rather to do it emerge, but JetBlue is saying, nah, man, we're going to come in here and we're going to take it. And they put like a hostile takeover bid. But Frontier is coming up and ponying up and presenting a better bid than JetBlue. But Spirit's getting beat up. So we're going to take a look at all three of those airlines. All right. And talking about traveling, how about this? Carnival. Carnival expects to cruise to core profits as strong demand blunts high costs. Again, here's another situation where tickets are rising to go on a cruise, but people are willing to spend the money for cruises. And, all of these travel companies, whether it be airlines, whether it be cruises, whether it be hotels, whether it be Disney, all of these things are making money because people want to get away. People want to get away, and these travel stocks are probably another good place to keep your money. Now, the problem is how long is this going to last? How long are they going to be able to raise the prices and people pay for these travel excursions? That's going to be a very interesting thing. But right now, airlines are still are at record bookings. Ships are at record bookings. Hotels are at record bookings because people want to travel. Kenneth says, called ghost flights. You know something? And that stinks. I hate that. Calling it ghost flights. Just book what you got. People still have a lot of money. Idiots calling recession. Ooh, really? People ain't got a lot of money. I think that the core people that are looking at spending the money, the exorbitant prices on things, are not in the same space as you think. Middle class America is doing this, not the poorer people, Scott. It ain't the poorer people. All right. And I don't think that people have a lot of money right now. People are willing to sacrifice to do these things because they've been locked down for 2 years. I don't think that people have a lot of money. And as a matter of fact, from that perspective, Scott, credit card bills or credit card usage has gone up exponentially because people don't have the money. So I'm not going to call it that people have a lot of money. All right. I think that people are willing to bite the bullet and to go and travel. That's what it is. So I don't think that people have a lot of money. A recession is coming. I don't think there's any way to get around that, Scott. I really don't think there's any way to get around that. Now, you know me, I'm still on the green space. I like EVs. Tesla, Ford, and GM raise EV prices. They raise EV prices and costs, but demand grows. All right? They're raising the price of the cars as costs and demand grow. That's interesting. One of the biggest pushbacks right now on EVs is the price of the car. All right? Prices are going up, but the demand is growing. Why is the demand growing? Because people are getting hit by the high gas prices. So is there something going on in the background to push people toward EVs? That's a political something that I can get into over a beer. But nonetheless, the demand for EVs is definitely growing. Billy on Facebook says sooner or later, people are going to be very cautious about how they spend. And I agree with that, Billy. I agree with that. I think that right now, people are willing, again, as I said, to bite the bullet a little bit to get away. But it's going to come to fruition that people are going to sit back and go, holy smokes, I got to put off this because I got to put food on my table. Or I got to cut out that because I've got to put gas in my car. So, yeah, I don't think that, I think that people are willing to sacrifice a little bit of this or a little bit of that right now. But as inflation continues to be a problem, people will be more cognizant of how they spend their money, Billy. Absolutely. At some point, price increases will stop consumers from buying due to inflation and higher rates. Absolutely. And that's with the higher interest rates, that's the whole idea, is to shrink the economy from that perspective. People are going to say prices are just too high. I'm not going to spend it on this, that, and the other thing. And then that's where the recession comes in. All right. Michael says the Fed has started to pull money out of the economy. We will all see it soon. No, it's already have. By way of higher interest rates, it makes money harder to get. So they are pulling money out of the economy. Upper middle class are traveling, not the average consumer. I'm with you on that, Jacques. All right. So Scott, I go back to that. It's not the lower, poorer people that are traveling. It is the middle class. It is the middle class that still has some spendable income. But just like somebody says, there it is, Tyree says, I'm running 4 credit cards currently. I'm thinking that is going to be a big story soon. All right. It's already starting to come out in the news that credit card usage is increasing exponentially. It's only going to get worse. It is only going to get worse. And that's where the money is coming out of. And people don't have the money. People have gone through their savings, Scott. People have gone through their savings and now are moving on to credit cards. That's going to be a very scary, precarious position to be in as well. All right. Because then you have to make a decision. Do I pay my credit card or do I put gas in my tank? Do I pay my credit card or do I put food on the table? Do I pay my credit card or do I pay my rent? All right. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but we're going to. We're definitely going to. All right. So Scott says, well, then the middle class goes poor, then we have a recession, but not yet. I didn't say we had a recession yet. I said we got stagflation. I think we get a full-blown real recession probably the beginning of next year. That's what I'm looking at, Scott. That's what I'm looking at. But I think by textbook definition, it's going to be on Wednesday that we're going to officially, air quotes, be in a recession if the GDP goes down for second quarter. Ms. McClintock says, Amex is jumping my rate nearly 10 points. Holy smokes, I didn't realize that. Wow, that's crazy. So then, but people, if they don't have savings anymore, what are they going to do? They're going to have to use the credit cards. They're going to have to. And the credit card companies are going to be making money because they're going to get higher rates back on the money that you're spending. All right. Powell just told us they will be reducing their balance sheet and not buying bonds. They've been supposed to be reducing their balance sheet since November of last year. I haven't seen them reduce their balance sheet yet. They're still holding bonds. All right. They're still holding bonds. All right. Now, also in this, how about the infrastructure? EVGO and GM take steps to streamline EV charging. I've done a story not too long ago that stated that the infrastructure money has been going out to the states for charging, for building a charging infrastructure. All right. Not every improvement in the electrical vehicle charging infrastructure, part of a broad effort to make sure trouble refueling on the road doesn't hit sales of the cars down the road, involves adding more charging points. I still think that companies like ChargePoint, like EVGO, are going to be big beneficiaries to this because as that infrastructure goes out, these charging stations are going to have to be built. They're going to have to be built. Scott says, agreed. Likely recession beginning of next year, but not this summer. I'm not going to call it this summer. I think, again, Scott, the textbook definition of it will be hit on Wednesday. We will see. We will see. That's the textbook. I don't think that, a lot of people think that we're in a recession right now, typically. I don't think that we get there until the jobs issue hits. Not until the job issue. Art says new inventions. Okay, that's all right. And I think that that's all my stories for today. Let's get into the software. Let's go get into the software and start looking at those stocks. All right. So not that one. There we go. That one. So we always want to look at, for a midday market, we always want to look at what's going on with the indices today. The VIX is up. The VIX is up at a value of 2767. Anything above the value of 20, we've got volatility in the market. The higher above 20 it is, the more volatility we have in the market. All right. The IWM, the lower dollar stocks are on a rise today. Interesting that normally when the VIX is rising, that bodes well for a down day in the market. If we go back to the home page, let's go look. Look at that. The market is mixed. The market has been going back and forth all day from up to down to now mixed. We do have a green light in the color guard pricing column. The primary wave is up for 2 days in a row. So someone asked, do you start buying stocks today? As a more aggressive trader in the market with the green light in the color guard pricing column and the primary wave up, I would say you would do so cautiously because the majority of the indices are down. Advances to decliners, we've got more advances to decliners, but not by much. So today would be one of those cautious days of buying stocks. I could cherry pick a couple of stocks that are going up today to buy, but I'm not backing up the truck. I'm not backing up the truck. All right. So let's get back knowing that the VIX is up. So people are still a little bit more fearful in the market today, but the lower dollar stocks, the Russell 2000 stocks, are up about 0.2. Let's go to the stocks that hit the big news. These are the companies that I just looked at. Oil was one of them. Oops. Let's go to big oil. Let's go to big news today. Let's go to today's ones. Oil is in there. There's Tesla, AVGO, Spirit Airlines, United, JetBlue, General Motors, Frontier going after Spirit Airlines, Ford, Carnival, Lucid. These are my companies today that made the news. And by way of that, there's 11 stocks. Only 2 stocks are in the green. That's oil and JetBlue. Interesting that JetBlue is up when it's not Carnival, when it's Frontier putting in a better bid to go get Spirit Airlines. But JetBlue is up, and now Ford is up. Again, Ford and GM and AVGO are in the stories from, along with Tesla, from a electric motor story as well as charging stations. Google moving up on the split, into the split. The split didn't happen yet. All right. I'm gonna put that up there. GOOGL. I'm gonna put that up there. The split is coming up. What's the day of the split? Anybody know what the date of the split is? Billy says, why would people be stupid and go to, Billy, that ain't stupid. When you run out of savings and you still got to get things and you have the credit and you have credit cards, that's why credit card usage goes up. That's not stupid. I'm not going to call that stupid. I'm going to call that, if you've got the ability to use that, you will. So I don't, 718, thank you, Miss McClintock. I don't call it stupid. I think that it is what's needed to get things done. All right. If you've gone through your savings and all you have are credit cards, now guess what? Now you're living off of borrowed money. But if that gets the bills paid, then that's what you do. All right. You don't have the money to pay it back. Well, you'll have it. You'll have it, or you're going to go on collections and all that stuff. I bet you collections are going to go up tremendously too. All right. I think Jacques says payday loans. Please, nobody do that. Please, 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 nobody do that. All right. So I'm just saying, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right. So, Billy, what do you do if you don't have the money because of inflation, or you can't do as much because of inflation, what do? If you've got the credit, you're gonna go use credit cards. All right. That's what I mean. Then bankruptcy. Well, I think that bankruptcy could go up as well. Don't get me wrong. I think that it can, especially if you overextend on your credit cards. All right. Joe C said the same thing as Billy says. I see a lot of bankruptcies in the future. I don't disagree with that. Living off credit cards is desperation, says Reginald. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is out of desperation, but nonetheless, you got to get the stuff done that you got to get done, and you use them. All right. So out of the big news, let's go see what the ones that are barely in the green. Let's go take a look at them. Let's view the stock graphs. These are the stocks that are in the news. There's oil. Oil was looking good for a little bit. Pull back. Now, even from a day trade perspective, let's take a look at that. I've got on USO a level of resistance sitting at 82.73. I would put in a buy order as long as volume is running. I like RT on it. As long as volume is running, I'd put in an order at 82.85, which is 12 cents higher than the high. That may not be a bad day trade, especially, again, I think that the oil story hasn't changed. From a day trade perspective, 12 cents higher than the high. The stock has moved up nicely today after pulling back, sitting in a little bit of a channel, may not be a bad day trade. The other one, JetBlue, I don't like this as a day trade, bigger channel, a lot of swerviosity going on, not the kind of volume that I'd like to see. So I'm not a big fan of JetBlue on a day trade perspective. And Ford looked good this morning, and this is where volatility comes in. This is not unlike a lot of other stocks that are out there that have the big swing up, then have the big swing down. As a day trader, though, what do I see happening? The stock bouncing off a level of support, watching the 388 right now could be a good buy opportunity from a day trade perspective. Trading right now at 1203, at least up to the value of 1218. Shorter term play. Shorter term play. Ms. McClintock says, market dropping must be lunchtime. Chris says, these hard times will hit the poorest the hardest. Let's exercise a little empathy and understanding and hope it doesn't last too long. Chris, if you've ever watched any of my presentations, I'm all about helping whoever is in the stock market, but I try to shoot from the hip and be as honest as possible. I have stated that this is going to be a precarious time in the market, and understanding the type of investor you are is going to be very crucial to what you do or don't do. You'll notice that on some of these trading opportunities, I'm looking at them as short-term trades, but I have made mention that if you're a longer-term investor, it's going to be a little bit more tricky for you to invest. Now, if you are an investor that doesn't have a lot of money in the market, I'd wait. I would wait because I'd rather you not lose that money and wait for a better buying opportunity. These opportunities that you're seeing on some of these shorter term trades are more for the savvy, more aggressive trader in the market. All right. And that's important. If you don't fit that mold or you're new to the market, I would definitely say wait, because let's do this. I would say wait because of this. Let's go put this graph. Let's go take this out. Let's go put this graph on a 3-month graph. That's the market. If you're a new investor in the market, the trend of the market is down. I am not going to tell a new investor in the market to buy stocks. But if you're a little bit more aggressive, you can play these bounces off support and know to get out at these levels of resistance, then yeah, you've got buying opportunities. But for that newer person, man, that's the trend of the market for the last 3 months. I'm not going to tell a new person to go jump into the market. Does that make sense to everybody in the room, especially to my newer investors in the room? Does that make sense to you? Yes or no? All right, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, I really want to speak to the new investors in the room. I'm not telling any of you right now to go buy stocks looking at the trend of the market. But for those people who are a little bit more aggressive, you do have buying opportunities, but they are short-lived. They are short-lived. live. So be careful with that. Be careful with that. And I'm right with you, Chris, that the people who don't have a lot of money in the market are the ones that are going to be adversely hit the hardest. I don't want that for you guys. I want you to, come to our, presentations here and learn about the market. But when the time is right for the newer person, we'll let you know when it's okay. We will let you know when it's okay. All right, let's go look at what's going on with all of the major indices in the market. There's the VectorVest composite. Nice little run up prior to midday market. Pulled back now from a more technical standpoint. We just hit a level of support. Dow just hit a level of support. This is live, folks. The Qs hit a level of support. The spiders hit a level of support. Does that mean that going up into the rest of the day, the market could have some upside? It could. But again, for those people who are a little bit more apt at being able to play the swings throughout the day, this could be setting up for another little bullish run intraday. All right, Scott says, I am day trading high momentum stocks. All right, there you go. I'm in a full risk off position, says Chris. Awesome. My peeps on Facebook, you're quiet about that. I'm curious to know, all my new people, what I gave you as far as information or guidance, does that make sense to you guys too on Facebook? All right, so I see a bounce in the composite. I see a bounce in the Dow. I see a bounce in the spiders. I'm not quite seeing a bounce yet in the Qs or the NASDAQ. I'm not quite seeing that just quite yet. But could you be setting up for a bounce for a little bit more throughout the day? The answer to your question is you could be, but learn to read the graphs. All right, let's go back to the viewers tab. Let's go. We went to the big news. Let's go to earnings this week. What stocks are giving up earnings this week? I always try to look for the bigger names. Sanderson Farm is giving earnings this week. It's either they're giving earnings this week or they've already given. Micron is going to be in the list. And again, I will be doing a chip story, a semiconductor story on Friday. Micron will be part of the story. Make sure you tune into the 6 p.m. Make sure you tune into the 6 p.m. video on Friday. VectorVest really helped for the day trading. Excellent. Chinese companies like DQ, how is linked to our U.S. market? When you say how is it linked, if it originated from another country but is traded on our market, it becomes an ADR, an American Depository Receipt. So it's originated from a foreign country but is traded on our market. That's what that is. All right. Earnings this week. What stocks are going up the most today? Wow, Giga. Let's go see if there's any news on this stock. Giga up 20% today. No news. Press release 3 days ago. Received 660,000 order from a Fortune 500 aerospace company customer for high performance radar filter products. So that's what's driving it. That was 3 days ago. Let's go look at the top four. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are companies that are reporting earnings this week. Micron was the fifth company. But let's go see the ones that are moving the fastest right now. View the stock graph. Ooh, Giga. I'm not liking that from a day trade. A lot of non-trading and then trades. I'm not feeling that. All right, let's go look at the other three. Put them on. CVVUF. Again, not a lot of trading. ARCAT's the only one that's got some volume. And remember, these are stories, stocks that have earnings this week. Sitting in a channel, this is the only one I'd pay attention to. A lot of non-volume in these companies, even though earnings are coming out. I'm not feeling them. But from a day trade perspective, I might like ARCAT if it can break 5 cents higher than the high. Do we have the 00 midday market folder in our vector? Stop it, Mark. No, you do not. You do not. Stop it, Mark. Sigh. You're going to make me cuss. Don't make me cuss. All right. Robert says Johnson & Johnson hit an all-time high today in the XLV. And there's a lot of stocks out there right now that are hitting new highs. I can't find them all, but I will talk about some of them today. Sorry to delay, but we'll replay. Hi, Umberto. Welcome. What options would you focus on, says Corey. When you say options, if the market overall is still looking like it's in a downtrend, Corey, I'd be looking at puts. I'd like to buy puts or sell covered calls on my longer term positions that I don't want to get rid of. I'd look at selling covered calls on them, but shorter term, I'd look at buying puts short term. I think that the money can be made on buying puts short term. Would you get out of XPU or keep them for a sudden sharp down day? I'm not sure when you got in and what the goal was or what option trade you put on it, Stephanie. DQ is being up for 2 weeks. What do you think? Again, if I can look at some individual stocks today, I will. Without looking at the stock, I know it's in the energy space. I still think that energy space still has a lot of upside. Again, dealing with what's going on with oil. So I do know DQ is in that space. I still think that energy and oil are a good space to be, Ty B. All right. I'm not feeling pretty much any of these stocks with the earnings today, except for RCAP. All right. Let's go to the fastest sectors. Let's go see what sectors are moving up today. Let's go to Unisearch. Let's go to a 10-day price delta on industries. Let's see what industries are on the rise. Contras are going to probably still be up there. Look at that. You want to know, if somebody say, well, talk to me about stocks. You want to know what's moving up? How about software healthcare is up 11% over the last 10 days as an industry. Let's go see if there's any stocks in there. All right. Now, because many of you are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, I'm only going to show you the top 5 stocks out of these industries. You want to look at all 41 stocks to see where they stand? Take a subscription to the software. All right. But here's the top 5 in the software healthcare. AMWL is up the most so far in this list, up 1.94%. Let's do this. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. From a day trade perspective, let's go see if any of these, there's where the money is going today, right? CNVY, nicely moved up today, pulled back, sitting in a little bit of a channel. The 3-8 just crossed. I've got 2 headwinds to get through right now, 2 levels of resistance, and I'm not feeling the volume on a day trade perspective. AMWL, also sitting in a big channel, nice hammer formation right here, right at support. Then the 3-8 cross. I do like that, but I'd like to see it take out that level of resistance of 502 by 5 cents. The RT is above 1, so the stock today is still in an uptrend. I'd like to see better volume, but as a channel, it makes sense about that. Now, VEEV, I do like this moving up. It is in an uptrend. Look at that. I do like that from a day trade perspective in an industry where the money is going today. I do like that. I'd like to see it break above this level of resistance of 207.68 by 12 cents. If it can do that on rising volume, I like this as a day trade. But we already know that software healthcare over the last 2 weeks is up over 11%. I'm looking at some of the top 5 stocks by VST in that list today, giving you an opportunity from a day trade. I do like that move. The stock did pull back hard this morning, but look at the move now. I'd like this to be upward with rising volume. It's not quite happening. Be careful with that. What else? And DH, Definitive Health, day trade as well. Not a lot of volume until recently, but hitting a new session high now. I wouldn't mind this. I'd go 12 cents higher than the high. I do like the move on this one as well. Nice hammer formation, 3-8 cross soon after. I like that as a technical run up. This was the trend line. It broke down below the trend line and now creating a new trend line here, moving up off this level of support. I do like this. I do like this as a day trade, folks, but I'd go 12 cents higher than the high. All right. So I like the interjecting of more day trades in the presentation to give you guys something to keep your eyes on. ETF's bio sector, let me run the search. How much is that up as an industry over the last 10 days? up 10.82%. Let's go do this real quick. View the stocks in that industry group. Again, I'm only going to show you the top 5. And I'm only going to show you the top 5 out of the 11 that are in this industry. Which one's moving up the most? Not many of them. Not many of them. All right. But these are all ETFs. These are all ETFs. If I'm going to play this space, I'd probably look at LABU. All right. I'd probably look at LABU. As a matter of fact, let's go see what the industry graph looks like on this. So it's gone up for the last 2 weeks. What does the industry graph look like over the last 3 months? Is it on the rise? Let's go see. I love the analysis we can do in the software. Woo, look at that nice run up. Look at that, right at a level of resistance, but look at the run up. RT is almost at 1. This space is almost in an uptrend. Love the volume on it. I'd keep my eye on that, and I'd probably look at an ETF like LABU. I'd probably look, there you go, Stephanie. I'd probably look at an ETF like LABU in this space. I do like the move up. The 3.8 bouncing off support. Right now, first headwind sitting at that level of resistance, 65 and a quarter. It's right now at 64.63. I'd like to see it break above that, but I do like that it's getting up there. All right. So for those people who are looking at stocks or looking at ETFs and ideas, I'm trying to present you with some of those along the way in the presentation. Let's go back to my viewers tab. Industry, ETFs. Where's the money going today overall? Where's the money going today? Let's sort this by percent price change. These are ETFs across the whole spectrum of investing, but there's natural gas is up today, energy, oil. I keep saying that oil is a good place to have your money. Smaller caps, the S&P 600 up over 1% today. Those are all of the industries or the indices that are up today where money is going. Where's money leaving the most from? The spiders material. Gold is still getting beat up. Gold is still getting beat up. The financials are getting beaten up. I like to use this watch list as a means of seeing at any given time, where is the money going in the market today? All right. Speculative plays. Let's go to my speculative plays that I gave you last week. I always cherry pick through some stocks from technical setups. Let's go see what they did last week. Let's go back 1 week. We were closed Monday. We're closed next Monday, too. We were closed, well, the market was closed Monday. All right, so here's the stocks that I came up with for you. Let's go see what they did from last week into today. Let's put this in a quick test. Oof, down a little bit as compared to the market. Wow, PHAT up almost 19%. How about ACTG up over 9%? BMY, Bristol Squibb Meyer, up almost 5%. Were there some opportunities in my speculative picks? Absolutely. Now, Meta Materials got smoked, 33%. They made the news. No, this was a speculative play. So I looked at it from a technical standpoint. Didn't work out, but others did and gave you an opportunity. How many of you ever used the speculative plays that I put out here? How many of you ever pay attention to those and have made some money on those? Type of 1. If you ain't never made if you ever never made money on any of my speculative plays, put a 2. But if you've made some money on my speculative picks for you, put a type of 1. All right, will we have a financial freedom in July? I don't think so. Joey, you know anything more about that? I don't think so.
We will not.
We will not. All right. So Mark says he's made money on my speculative picks. Roger says no, but Kobe says 1. Tater says I have 4 season tickets for the Tennessee football. May be hard to make the 350. I hear you. Don't go watch the football. I'm glad to see that some of you have made some money. On the picks that I've given. So this week I've got new picks. And again, a lot of these come from technical setups, whether it's a Stan Heller setup, whether it's, a lot of other different things that are out there. I bring these stocks to the forefront for stocks for you to keep your eyes on. All right. let's go look at which ones are making money today. Highlight the type 3. Now notice that just about all of them are sells, though. These are speculative plays. Notice that the relative values on all the ones that I try to pick are above 1, so these stocks do have good upside. All right, what's normally hurting these stocks is that they're in downtrends, but they've got good earnings growth rates, and they've got, for the most part, positive earnings. Not all of them, but most of them do. But the biggest thing that's hurting them is that they are in downtrends. Let's go take a look at these 3 stocks, all right? These are 3 that are making money today. Boxel, a lower $1.70 stock. I don't like the volume. But from a day trade perspective, it is moving higher. I'd be careful with it, though. What else is in here? SNCR may be up for the day, but I'm not liking the volume on it. These are speculative plays. So as a matter of fact, let's do it this way. Let's still look at these graphs. Let's view the stock graph. Let's go put these on a longer month. Now you're going to see why I like them as speculative plays. Boxel found a level of support the 3 and the 8 just crossed. How many times have you seen me show a stock with a 3-8 cross and you go, man, why couldn't I find it then? You're finding it now. There's Boxel. Found a level of support the 3-8 just crossed. It's got headwinds up to these 2 levels of resistance, but it's definitely moving on higher volume. It is for those people who want to be a little bit more aggressive and don't have a lot of money in the market. This may not be a bad play. Rising, coming off of a level of support, the 3-8 cross on rising volume, this may not be a bad play. Keep your eyes on it. All right, what else? Here's SNCR, also coming off a level of support. I'd like the volume to pick up with this, but it's not doing as much as it is with Boxel. VISL, software business, volume has been up and down, but the 3 and the 8 are crossing. So that's the reason why a lot of these stocks that you see are speculative plays, because they're setting up from a technical standpoint. All right, what stocks are moving today? There's a stock that was up over 1,000%. There it is, BRQS. All right, up over 1,000%. They got a big contract. But let's go look at the stocks below it. These are stocks that are up nicely today. All right, in excess of 10%. Let's go see if any of these stocks from a day trade perspective still have some upside. Now, you'll see that NRSN looks like it made the majority of the move in its stock this morning. Never faded the gap, though. As you see, that never faded the gap. Right now, trading close to that gap level, hammer formation, no real follow through. I think the majority of the money, as I mentioned, was made this morning. I'm not sure I really like this until it takes out that level of resistance. Now, AXSM gapped up, did fade the gap a little bit, but intraday moving up higher on good volume. I'd look at this from a day trade perspective, putting in an order at, what's the high? I'd put in an order, high, 58, 68, 70. I'd put in an order at 37.70. 37.70. So the stock is up nicely today and still moving higher, hitting a new high. Now, I'd put in a buy order at 37.70. 37.70 and let that go. That's a good looking play on rising volume from a day trade perspective. AERC trending higher. Trending higher. The 3 and 8 are converging. I'm not feeling the volume. I'd like to see it start rising again like it did here with rising volume. That's not quite happening right now. Let's see if it can break above that level of resistance on higher volume. RT is above 1, so the stock is in an uptrend, but pulling back right now. And the last one, SRRK, nicely moved up this morning, had a level of resistance at 759. I'd like to see, as it's moving up off of this level, quick level of support, I'd like to see it take out that level of the high, look at 5 cents higher than the high. All right. Jacques says RV over 1 and add 5 and 10 cross. That's another good way, again, from a technical standpoint, to look at stocks. Here's my day trade picks. I think I've got a few in here that I liked earlier. I don't know what they're doing now, but I did like them earlier when setting these up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go see if they are still viable day trades today. Now, I don't know any news on these. When I looked at Bohr, it was beautiful. Look at that nice upward move. The 3-8 cross early this morning on rising volume. That was a great entry. It is now settled into a level of moving sideways. I'd like to see if the stock could take out this high. What's the high? 626. I'd look at 631 to put in a buy order. All right, beautiful move up this morning, leveling out. If it's going to have some legs to move higher, let's look at 5 cents higher than the high. PBF pulled back, found the level of support. The 3 and the 8 are still in play. What's the high? The high is at 3306. 33.18 is what I'd be looking at as a buy price on this. I'm liking that volume is starting to pick up. I like that volume is starting to pick up, but I'd be looking at 33.18. 33.18 as a day trade on this. RT is above 1, scrolling around about, but is a buy. I like that at 33.18. I liked it earlier today when I picked it up. It fell, found that level of support. And I like that as a day trade. BPT, it is pulling off a level of support, stopping right at that level of resistance of 22.26. It's got to get out of its own way first on good volume. It's got to get out of its own way first on good volume. And the last stock is CEIX. Nicely moved up nice this morning, pulled back, found a level of support. Horizontal line, found a level of support sitting right about here. Bouncing off the 3 and the 8, now moving up. I'd look to see if the stock could take out that high of $54. I'd be putting in a buy order at $54.12 as long as the volume is there. All right. How many of you like 1, 2, 3, 4? How many of you like the new idea of trying to add some day trades into the presentation? Type of 1. Whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, type of 1. I'm going to look at the next 4. Let's look at the next 4. TRMD, nicely moved up this morning. Pulled back a little bit, found a level of support. Let's go see. There's the 3 and the 8. I got to see the stock break above that level of the high. What's the high sitting at? Sitting at a level of $14.50. I'd look at getting in at a price of $15. All right. See, Sandeep says no. You're the only one, Sandeep. How does it feel? How does it feel to be the only one to say no? Interesting. Just asking. All right. I'd like to see rising volume on this one as well, but I'd be looking at an order of about $15. About a buy order about $15. All right. ASC, I'm not feeling that. That stock is just trending lower from the high. All right. It is just trending lower. What did you say, Joey? Nothing? Okay. It's just trending lower from the high. I wouldn't like that. Same thing with NEX. Looks like it's pulling back as well. Would like them in pre-market. We do that in the Jockey Club, Jacques. We do that in the Jockey Club. All right. And HNRG, as much as I like the stock, I don't like it as a day trade today. I really don't like it as a day trade today. So those are my day trade picks. I went through, found some of these stocks earlier this morning, and then we wanted to still see if they were viable candidates during the presentation. I got nothing there. Special watch list. I'm still looking at energy stocks. All right, I'm still looking at energy stocks. And look at all of these energy stocks that are up today. All of them. Again, I still think that the story with energy hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, and I still think that energy stocks are a good way to go. Let me do something. Here's the watch list average. Let's go. These are just 11 that I picked out. 11 energy stocks that I picked out. I want to show you the watch list average of these stocks. Put this on a 3-month basis. And interesting today, right at a level of support. Could they be ready to bounce again? If the story hasn't changed, could they be ready to bounce again? This could be preliminarily as the stocks have pulled back after they were running up so nicely. They pulled back, could be bouncing off support. We take a look. All right. So that's all my stories for today. Joey, put me on my main page. That's it. It's 108. If we can finish before 1 o'clock, then I try to look at your stocks. I may have a day where I have less stories and I will actively try to look at your own individual stocks. It's tough to do that sometimes because you guys do ask good questions, and that's a good thing. And I want to try to make sure that I can answer as many of those questions as possible. If you haven't already, hit the like button. How many likes did we get today, Joey? If you haven't already, hit the like button. Wow. Oh, it went from 37 to 69. All right. You know me, I like to always try to get to 100 likes. Just tell me if it was worth your time. That's the big thing. I'm trying to make things a little bit more interesting by giving you some day trade ideas. Why wasn't SJT on your list? I don't know. It should have been. I own San Juan Basin. I do. I don't know. And Sonny says, I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to laugh or just to sing a little song. All right. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting Midday Market Update. You know, we try to always keep you abreast of what's going on today and at least give you some preparation for the rest of the week. The big thing is going to be GDP on Wednesday. That's going to start to give us an understanding of if we are officially in the textbook definition of a recession or not. SJT is making huge sucking noises. I own it. Is it going down? Listen, I own it. I got stops in place though. Nice haircut, Glenn, says Cedric. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for being here. Patrick's got a video coming out tonight. Again, if you're going to watch the summit videos, they are up on YouTube, but they will be taken down very, very soon. If you want to get access to the summit videos, you can pay for them, $195. You got it for a year. Or if you take a subscription, if you take a subscription to an annual, it's got to be an annual subscription to VectorVest software, you get the videos for free. Go to www.vectorvest.com/videos if you want to buy it now. $195. All right. So thank you guys. Thank you, Mark. Thank you guys for being here. And we're getting ready to go. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.